Well, thank you. Now I have improved the communication around the service. But can you help me on the subject of tool management? My HOMAG machines run with various tools. For this, I use a separate Excel list to record my data. But it must be possible that I manage saw blades and milling heads smarter and more efficient.
Hey Joey, I think I got the right solution for your request. So let me introduce to you Twinio. Twinio is a tapio own application for the digital tool management. And it's super easy to use and super easy to handle because some of our partners already integrated into the application. That means when you're buying a tool by AKE or Leuco, for example, you're just scanning the article number and you will receive the original data straight from the manufacturer. So it's just like scanning and saving, and that's it. And your tools are like digitalized. You can also print your unique QR code straight out of the application. And you can also assign specific locations to the tools. That means in the future, you won't have a lack of transparency anymore. You know exactly where your tools are located. Are they on the machine or in tool storage or at the sharpening service? There are also like specific availabilities in terms of colors. So you see green, yellow or red colors in the application and you know exactly if a tool is available or not. You can also have a look on all the data from the tool. So for example, measuring data, field data, technical data, doesn't matter. You see all the data and you can work with the data. You can also like update specific parameters individually. So for example, run meter for saw blade or other parameters which are really important for you. But you know what? I think it's super easy if I take you with me into the production and we see Twinio live in action and see how Twinio is working on a production environment. So let's go. Yeah, hello and welcome here in the showroom of HOMAG Shopfloor. So I already logged into Twinio with my Tapio account. So, and as you can see, we have a nice overview of all the tools we already added to our subscription. So basically the overview is always the same. You see a product picture, you see a product description, you see the location where the tool is located, and you see the availability of the tool. If it's green, which is available, orange, which means like the tool is in use, like on a machine, and red, which means it's at the sharpening service, so it's out of the company right now. So basically what's really interesting here is that you have a whole transparency by looking on the overview of Twinio. So you can click on every tool to get a more functions and more actions and more things you can do with your tool. So when I click here on the tool, you see once again the information from the overview, and you have also different types of actions you can do with the tool. So for example, you can have a look at the process data. Process data means this is data regarding, for example, for saw blades, cutting length, cut volume, or cut counts. So you as a customer, you can set up a limit value from your personal experience, and then you either put in the latest value of the process data after production process, or your machine is tapio ready, connected, and has the technical requirements, and then the machine is sending those process data automatically to Twinio and updates the values. So more or less it will help you to know when your tool has to go to the sharpening service. So it's not that you hear it or you can see it and you have to prove it. It's more or less you have the data now, and then you can say, okay, this tool has to go to the sharpening service. Also, all those tool data is like in Twinio. So when your machine is connected and has the technical requirements, for example, a saw tech by HOMAG can get the tool data straight from Twinio on the machine. So no manual typing of data, of tool data. It's more or less you select the tool you want to use for the production process, and then all the tool data will go straight into the program on the machine and you can start production. So this is the big advantage as well, that all the machines will be connected with Twinio, so that you have a nice exchange between, on the one side, the process data, on the other side, the tool data, which you can then retrieve from Twinio. When you click here on a process data, you also see the historical data of that process data. That means like you see always the limit value, and you see how the tool has performed in the past. So in which cycle which data was processed, how was the performance of the tool. You see if it was an overperformance or underperformance. When you click on the pen, you can set your limit value in a manual way, like more higher or more a little bit more less, and you can also update the value on a manual way, as I already explained, or it's coming straight from the machine. What you can also do here in that action sheet is you can assign locations. So right now the tool was on the tool storage place 1. I'm going to assign it now to a machine. I confirm it. So now the availability is switching from green to orange. That means like everybody knows here this tool is on a machine and is like in production. So it's not available for other machines in the company. What you can also do here on the action sheet, you can always update the measuring data of the tool, which is very important after sharpening, for example, which I come back later. What's also interesting here is the whole topic of sharpening. So we can place tools to sharpening services like in a manual way, so that everybody in the company knows this tool is like not in the company anymore, it's at the sharpening service. So I'm gonna do that process one time. First of all, I click on sharpening. Twinio recognize, hey, this tool is on a machine. First, you have to unmount the tool from the machine to give it to the sharpening service. So I said, yes, reset the location, please, of the tool. Now I can say, yes, I want to go furthermore and get the tool to the sharpening. So right now, the availability switched it now from orange to green and now to red for sharpening. This all happens automatically. So when the tool comes back from the sharpening service, I say, okay, I want to complete the sharpening. So what's happening now here? The availability is switching to green. And automatically the measuring tool sheet is popping up and says like, hey, please enter the new and the latest measuring data of the tool because it's changed after sharpening. So here I say, for example, okay, it's 29.6 instead of 29.7. And now the latest data is stored at the tool. And what also happening here, all the process data is set to 0 because it's a new sharpening cycle which was created and it begins at 0. And now you can work with the tool and gain more and more values in the direction of the limit value. When you click here, for example, on details, this is the detail view of the tool. You have here all the blue hooks, which means like all the integrated partners by Tapio, for example, Leuco, AKI, AGEFA or Canefusa. They already send data straight in our system. So this is like all under the technical data. You see the tool card is digitalized here in Twinio already. That means this is a really verified data from the manufacturer. So you as a customer, when you use that data, you have the certified data from a manufacturer. Also, when you add a tool to Twinio, we're creating a unique ID for every single tool. That means like when you click here on the QR code, you can print out that QR code and give it on packages, on boxes, on plastic labels for the tools. And by scanning out of the application itself, you can scan DMC codes, barcodes, QR codes, identify the tools, and then you can work with the tools by easily scan it and make some actions with it. When we go to another tool, for example, here, this tool under the section more, you can edit specific parameters of the tool. So for example, display name, and you can add comments to the tool. Display name is quite interesting because a lot of customers, they are working with their own wording of their tools. So then you can just like easily click in, type in the display name you want to see in the overview of the tools, and then you can work with your own names instead of the production names by manufacturers. What's also interesting is, for example, here, when you click on the more sections, you can attach files to the product. That means you click on attach files. You can select files either from the photo library, or you can take a photo here from scratch. I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to make a picture, and then you use the picture. You can easily, either you can delete it, or you can use it if it was a good one, and then you're going to click upload, and then the picture will be stored on that tool here on the detail view of that tool. So as you can see here, the picture was added to the detail view. You can click on it, you can delete it, or you can use it. So basically you can also upload not only pictures like JPEGs or PNG data, you can also upload PDF documents as well. So sharpening protocols or technical designs. So it really doesn't matter as long as it's a PDF. So you can enrich your tool with your own attachments in this case. So when we're going to go back and, for example, I want to work with a tool and it already has a unique code, for example, from Loico, where it's like a unique ID behind it. You can go and scan. I allow the camera to get access. Then you can go here, you scan that code, and twinio recognizes the code and already opens up the action bottom sheet. And now you can just scan it, and then you can do one of the actions I already explained with the tools. So it's super easy. You can have everything in one application. You can also work with hand scanners as well. So you don't necessarily need to work with a scanner from Twinio. You can also work with a hand scanner, which you already have in your company. Adding a tool to the subscription is pretty easy. So first way is like you use a scanner, you scan a barcode or a QR code or a DMC code from one of our integrated manufacturers, and you will have your tool in a digital way within 5 seconds. Second way is like you can choose either one of our partners here as manufacturers, or if you have a tool from a not tapio partner, you can easily click here on that field and you create the name of that manufacturers you have the tools from. That means like Twinio is working independently from manufacturers. So it's a little bit more work when you use a manufacturer which is not integrated into Twinio, but still you can use all the tools from your shop floor. For example, I'm going to use here AKE, for example. Then I go through that hierarchy tree. I say I want to add a saw blade and I want to add a main saw blade. And now Twinio displays all the catalog data from AKE, which they already sent us and got integrated into Twinio. So by just clicking on one data here, and I say yes, save it. So the tool, the saw blade from AKE, is first digitalized, second has a unique code, so then you can print out the QR code and give it to the saw blade. Otherwise, if you don't find your data here in that long list, you can also search with the article number here. I can say I want to add a new item, and then you have to fill out manually 7 fields, and then you create the tool also on the fly within a few seconds, and then you can work with the tool. So yes, once again summarized, we have integrated partner. You see it with the blue hooks. It's original data coming straight from the manufacturer. You can add specific files to the tool like pictures or PDF documents. You can assign locations for whole transparency for your tools. You have the conditions of the tools by looking on process data and limit values. You see the number of sharpening cycles. You see the performance of the tools for the past, how your tools were performed. If your machine is tapio ready and connected and has the technical requirements, then the machine can send process data to Twinio and can retrieve tool data straight from Twinio to start working on the machine by non-typing manually anymore any data into your machine. And you have an integrated scanner for identifying all the tools from integrated partner. You can also add all the tools on a manual way as well. And so basically, the sharpening process is right now on a manual way, but in the future we will also integrate sharpening services straight into Twinio so that you get the latest data after sharpening for measuring, for example, straight in Twinio, so you don't have to do anything on a manual way. So yeah, just go on store.tapio.one, click on Twinio. You get Twinio 30 days for free as a trial version. You can, you can upload 30 tools for free. Then you can start working with it, see if it's working for you, for your company, for your colleagues, for your employees. And have fun with it and get your tool digitalized. Okay, see you soon. Bye.
Okay, Joey, let's summarize it once again. So how does Twinio helps you with your tool management? So Twinio gives you a nice overview of your tools in a digital way. You can also assign locations to specific tools. So in the future, you won't have any lack of transparency. You know exactly where your tools are located, like on a machine or in a tool storage. You can also use the scan function to identify your tools,
or to add new tools to your subscription. And last but not least, you can also add tools from non-tapio partner in a manual way, or you can just use the scan function once again for integrated partner tools and get the original data straight from the manufacturer. So you decide which way you want to go, but you still can digitalize all your tools, doesn't matter which manufacturer it is.
Thank you, that sounds perfect. I will take a closer look. Under the QR code, I can find all sorts of other informations about twinio. You should also have a look.
So let's summarize it once again. Today we focused on three main topics. In the first chapter, we've learned something about tapio in general and why the ecosystem enables the wood industry to make the leap into the digital world. We need an ecosystem to connect various players in the wood industry and thus make home products even more usable in a digital world. In the second chapter, we took a deeper look into service board, how simple machine service for home machines can be, and how you support your customers to use service board in 6 simple steps. In the third chapter, we showed you twinio, how easy digital tool management can be, and even more, how important it is to use here also the ecosystem approach too. Various manufacturers can integrate directly into the application and make data available for our customers.